Okay, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I have obviously an incredibly special guest with me again today, which I've been waiting to get together with Roman. I think it's been nearly a year, Roman, and life has happened, things have happened. I've moved, you've been busy. So finally we are here, and I'm very, very excited and very, very grateful for your time that you're going to give to us today and everything that you're going to share. It's a really exciting topic. Before we go into that, I just want to say for those of you that don't know who Rumen Kolav is, he's an astronomer, he's an astrologer, he's a writer, he's a speaker, he's created an astronomy astrology program, he's a jewelry maker. When do you sleep, Rumen? There's so much that this man has done. It blows my mind. I can't, it's very difficult to put into words, but I'm very inspired by you. Every time I listen to you talk, every time I watch one of your videos, whatever you're talking about is always so inspiring and it feeds the soul for me, which is why I love to sit with you. It just goes straight to the soul of things. So ever since I've had your program, which I was very blessed to have it gifted to me, actually by one of my own students. And so since I've been working with your program, I've been able to start looking at the sky, the actual sky with the constellations, the three-dimensional chart, which I'd never done before. So it's been a real a blessing and a real learning curve for me. And every time I sit with you or listen to you speak, as I said, I always walk away with a new little jewel, a new piece of wisdom that I integrate into my own work. And so once again, I'm very grateful to have you. Thank you for being here. And for those of you guys who are watching it at underneath the video description, I will put all the links to Roman so that you can contact him for any of the things that you may be interested in. As I said, he has a software astrological program which is divine, incredible. You will see it today because we'll be using that today to demonstrate certain things. His jewelry is exquisite. When I win the lottery or if I make a lot of money, that's the first thing I'm going to be spending my money on. Your jewelry is so beautiful. One of my students bought a Venus, I think it's a Venus pendant. Yeah,
Yes.
it's so divine, and I want it. So anyway, those of you that are interested in beautiful, unique craftsmanship of jewelry that is replica of ancient symbols, this is the man to go to. So as I said, I'll put all the links below. You can contact Roman directly. He has books, he has courses. As I said, where does it end? It doesn't end. When do you sleep? So thank you again, Roman. Today we're going to talk about astronomical cycles through the lens of the Babylonian true astrology system, sidereal, the real sky, right? And there's going to be a lot of different things that come up through that. I actually have a couple of questions as well. But we'll just let it flow and I'll hand it over to you. And welcome and excited to hear what you've got to say.
Hello to everybody. I'm very happy now to be with you and to speak about this absolutely amazing mysteries of the cosmos.
Hmm.
Because there are so many things that we don't notice,
Hmm.
things that are a little bit hidden by the worldview which was imposed on us
Hmm.
since we were born. We were born angels. We were born without any preconditioning, preconceivement, prejudice. But then, comes all the surroundings with all their dogmas and worldviews and prejudices. And slowly, in the course of time, uh, you know, our consciousness fits in some kind of shape that the society around us has ready for us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we can blow this up
Yeah.
and we can be free.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So We can start with the questions. Actually, I usually start all my lectures with questions, and I finish with questions. So we can start, yeah, with questions.
Okay, well, um, the big question on everyone's mind, and the question that I think a lot of people have the wrong answer for, is this the epoch of Pisces. So the transition out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, right? I'd really like us to explore that and talk about that because a lot of people are misguided and have a misconception that we are already in the Aquarius age and it started a long time ago. And I don't think that is accurate at all. So I'd really
Yes.
love for us to maybe start with that. It's as I said, it's let's go straight to the big question. And
Okay.
yeah, maybe we can start with that.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, uh, this is really very, very interesting and very modern one to think about this because right now we are in the end of Pisces of the Pisces epoch. But first, we must have some understanding of how the ancients viewed these epochs. How did they view the development of humanity, of the human civilizations, of the kingdoms, and they had a little bit different from what we know, from what we are taught now. Now we are taught that this is some kind of upward movement, constant upward. And in ancient times, they had a little bit different opinion about this. They thought that everything is in cycles. Actually, the official topic today, which is the cycles in astrology and in astronomy, it touches exactly on this question because one human civilization is actually one cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It has a beginning and it has an end.
Mm.
And these big cycles, when the precession changes signs, is just one example. The precession turns around for about 22,000 years.
Mm.
Um, Around that time, it's still not absolutely sure. The astronomers don't know exactly,
Mm-hmm.
this period, but it is around 22,000 years,
Mm-hmm.
and this means that one sign has 2,000 years
Mm-hmm.
for the precession to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is that we can also look in the past, and Jesus, according to the Christian tradition, Jesus was born actually around 230 years before the precession entered into Pisces.
Mm.
And actually, this transition from one big 2,000 years epoch to another is happening in the course of several hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
So remember Rome, late Rome, when Jesus was born. It was epoch of several hundred years when there was this change,
Mm-hmm.
when ancient Rome was falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
and the so-called barbarians were coming, and they then it started the so-called Dark Ages
Mm-hmm.
in the at least in most of Europe. In Byzantium, it was a different story, a little bit softer. The Dark Ages were not so dark actually there, but still, there was Dark Ages there because they persecuted the Academy of Athens. Um, they actually forbid it. They destroyed it in, I think it was in 530 or 523 AD,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. So actually, for me, the end of the ancient Greco-Roman civilization was when they forbid and destroyed the Academy of Athens, which was in the beginning of the 6th century AD.
Mm-hmm.
So in this time, the precession was already in Pisces, and it must have been around the 4th degree, the like 4 degree inside the Pisces. Like I'll now show you
Mm-hmm.
actually the movement of the precession. I'll just set up here what I want to show you. So
Let me
let me
just,
see.
I think I need to give you host tools. Let's see. Enable.
Yeah, to share.
Yes, yes. How do I do that again? Creation, what else?
And also in the meantime, I'll talk more about this worldview on the history that the ancient had. It was in their view um, one civilization started with the golden age,
Mm-hmm.
and then it slowly fell down through the silver age, through the bronze age, through the iron age, and through the age that they call the age of clay. The last
Mm-hmm.
step of this 5 ages. It is recorded, of course, in the myths, in the
Mm-hmm.
and also it is in the Bible. Also, Daniel, the
Mm-hmm.
prophet Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
and the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, or no, Nabuchodonosor, of this Babylonian king. He had a dream about one statue with a golden head, silver breast, then comes down the bronze tummy, then iron legs, and in the end, it is this clay feet. So
Mm-hmm.
this is attested in this that they viewed the cycle of one civilization not something going straight up, but the opposite. The opposite. Something going straight down from the golden age,
To,
bam,
yeah,
to the nothing, to the chaos,
yeah,
to the satanism, to absolutely horrible things.
yeah.
Uh, we have not seen anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet. Yes, right now we're so good, so good,
Mm-hmm.
because in the legend, a real dark age is when when the earth and humanity is plagued by war, by disagreement, by pestilence, by poverty, by different kind of sicknesses, and people were like beasts in this real black age, the last, and there were also the legends tell that in these times nobody was mentioning God. Nobody actually knew
Mm-hmm.
that there is God.
Mm-hmm.
And also, well, okay, then they in this real dark age, they will not have any holy books. Everything will be destroyed. No churches, no mosques, no Buddhist temples, nothing, absolutely nothing. And there will be also people will be eating other people, even. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they, yeah. The legends about past such dark ages
Mm.
tell us this,
Okay.
that there will be all kinds of horrible things. And in this last transition
Mm.
from ancient Greco-Roman civilization to the modern one, of course, there were not such things on the mass scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I suspect that there is one place in this circle of the precession where probably this will be the case. Like the worst type of dark age will be most probably when on the spring equinox, the Scorpio is rising in the aura of the rising sun,
Mm.
which will happen several thousand years after the day. Like on the first thought, I believe this will be, let's see, now we are, yeah, in the end of Pisces. So it will be probably 12,000, after 12,000 years, maybe.
Wow.
When the precession goes to Scorpio, it will be around this. We can look exactly when this will be on the program. But these transitions, they depend on the constellation that will be seen in the crown of the rising sun on the spring equinox.
Mhm.
So I hope that the transition which we are experiencing now will be not so tough.
Mm. Have you
As I'm talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you looked at from the perspective of what you just described when that transition is occurring? So, because I think I've heard you say that the Aquarian entering the Aquarian age is around about 350 years away from now, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, have you looked at that period at all relative to what you were just saying about what might be rising at that
Yes.
spring equinox time?
Yes.
Oh,
Now, can I share now?
I think so. Just check it out. I think I pressed the right button. Just tell me if it's not.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I
yeah,
can.
perfect, perfect.
Do you see the screen?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so this is my program,
Mm-hmm.
Placidus,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the one of the models, Porphyrius Magus,
Mm-hmm.
second version. So here we can see the chart in two dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
I will show you just very quickly. The horizon is this one here.
Mm-hmm.
The meridian is these blue lines,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see the constellations, the planets, the constellations
Mm-hmm.
here, the planets. This is actually the chart of Elon Musk.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
Yes, June 28,
quite,
1961. Okay.
quite interesting, powerful chart. We can discuss it in some other session.
Mm.
Here, what you can see immediately is Mercury is in the heliacal phase. Above Mercury, you can read EF3, which means evening first 3 days after the day when this chart is made, which is June 28, yes, 1971. So this means that 2 days after this, three days after this, Mercury will appear for everybody to see with
Mm-hmm.
their own eyes,
Mm-hmm.
without any aid, without binoculars, without telescope. Just uh, everybody who, at this latitude, will see with their naked eyes Mercury appearing as an evening star.
Mm-hmm.
So heliacal phase of Mercury, which is quite powerful, and as you see, he is here very close to the meridian, and in the constellation Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but now let's go. I'll
Can I
get
just
rid
ask
of
a quick
all.
question before you take that away? I know it's sort of different to what we were going to talk about, but I'm very curious because I have a similar Mercury, not in the same constellation and all of that, but mine as well is invisible when I was born. So I don't want to talk about myself, but just relative to Elon Musk, you're saying that because Mercury will appear 3 days after his birth, that's quite a powerful or significant position for Mercury. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, this is absolutely powerful position,
Mm.
like plus minus 7 days from a heliacal phase.
Ah, yes.
This
Right.
planet is extremely powerful,
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I remember that now. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
especially if this is a heliacal phase of appearance.
Yes. Mm.
It is much more dynamic. There, much more power. And
Mm.
evening star Mercury, which will shine after the sunset,
Mm.
is associated with Hermes, with
Mm.
the divinity, with the god Hermes,
Yes.
which is the god of the mental field.
Mm.
So
Yes.
let's now, I'll get rid here of everything, almost everything. Let's see. I'll get rid also of the horizon, the meridian. So this you see this orange concentric circles. This is where the spring equinox is at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
which is 1971 June. So here you can read. Let me. Okay, I'll get rid of the star names because here you can see 5 degrees 37 minutes of Babylonian Pisces.
I
You
see.
see, this is the sidereal fixed stars, ecliptic fixed stars zodiac of the Babylonians. And we probably need to talk a little bit about this.
Uh-huh.
Here in this zodiac, the most important thing to know is that this is fixed to the stars, to the
Mm-hmm.
fixed stars.
Mm-hmm.
And the star Aldebaran, which is a powerful star
Mm.
in the eye, in the southern eye of the celestial bull.
Mm-hmm.
You see here Aldebaran.
Mm.
Aldebaran, for which Hermes says that this is the most powerful star on the sky.
Mm.
Uh, of course, Hermes takes in account not only the brightness of the star, because there are stars which are brighter, but he also takes in account how close to the ecliptic is the star. The
Right.
closer, the more powerful.
Right. Okay.
So according to Hermes, the power of a fixed star depends on its distance from the ecliptic, first,
Right. Right.
and second, on its brightness. How bright is the star and how close to the ecliptic.
Right. And so
And yeah,
I was just going to ask you, is the teaching connected to a star is more powerful when it's closer to the ecliptic because that's the sun's pathway? Is that basically
yes,
why? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And and the nature of the stars, he says, we can know by the nature of the light, which includes the colors that we can see
Mm.
and the intensity of these colors and how often they change. Most of the stars have several colors of their light, which intermittently change.
Mm-hmm.
In some stars, this is quicker. In some other stars, this is slower.
Mm-hmm.
And also, does the brightness of the star changes? Like there are these
Mm-hmm.
variable stars like um, Aldebaran also is also variable star, but its difference is small. Antares is a very famous variable star, and also this depends whether it can be predicted or it is unpredictable. Antares is unpredictable
Why is it unpredictable?
because nobody knows what will be its brightness tomorrow.
Oh, right. Okay.
So,
Mm.
mm, yeah, so we can see here for
Mm-hmm.
this year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now we can go to dynamic here,
Mm-hmm.
and we can move with time forward, and
Mm-hmm.
our aim will be, okay, I'll put here, let's say 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
60 years. I'll move in step of 60 years,
Mm-hmm.
and we will watch this equinox point, how it will move.
Mm-hmm.
Just again to say that in the Babylonian fixed zodiac, Aldebaran is in the middle of Taurus,
Mm-hmm.
the middle, like 1500,
Yeah.
always.
Mm-hmm.
And mm, there is a little bit of difference from the Vedic Lahiri zodiac,
Mm-hmm.
which will place Spica in
Mm-hmm.
00 Libra. In the Babylonian zodiac, Spica is in 29 degrees and 6 minutes of Virgo, of Babylonian Virgo. So it is less than 1 degree difference.
Mm-hmm.
So now I will move with 60 years forward. And look, it is okay. I can even get rid of the names of the stars. Okay, it is 5 degrees 37. So look after 60 years where it will be.
Mm-hmm.
4 degrees 46 minutes.
Mm.
After more, it will be 3 degrees 56 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
which will be 2091. So in 2091, we will still be in Pisces, the spring equinox.
Mm-hmm.
But let's continue. Okay. So we are now close to entering in Aquarius.
So what year is that, Roman?
Um,
2360. Was that right? Was I reading that right?
2300 right now is 2371. I believe we must, right now,
Mm-hmm.
2372, the spring equinox is exactly in zero
I see.
Pisces. It moves backwards.
Backwards, correct. Yes. Right.
Mm,
Hmm.
and it will, okay, right now, it's again there. Okay. Right now it is in 29 degrees 59 minutes. So this is like all already it is inside Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute, 1 arc minute inside.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in 2374.
Yeah. So for those of you who had questions about the Aquarian age or the Aquarian epoch, now you know because you can see this is the astronomy, guys. You can't deny what's happening in the sky. We can't argue about this. It's not a debate. We can see it literally on the screen. This is the actual timing of when we go into the Aquarian age. There's a spring equinox right there, as Roman was just showing us. So there's no debate. You can't argue with what's happening in the sky, pretty much. So,
Yes, that's right. There is one question like when the sun rises,
mm,
there is this phenomenon called dawn, when it is like a little bit of light, which is growing more powerful and more powerful. So we can talk about some kind of dawn of this age,
mm-hmm,
um, which maybe we can see signs right now. But one thing is the dawn, and another thing is when the sun actually rises. Because if in this time we go somewhere and watch, I mean, in 2374,
mm-hmm,
we go somewhere and watch the full sunrise, like starting 2 hours
mm-hmm,
before the actual sunrise, then and then we will be able to see in the crown of the rising sign of the rising sun, we can see stars which pertain to Aquarius.
mm-hmm,
So this is the dawn of Aquarius.
mm-hmm,
However, you see, what they talk about Aquarius is that it will be some kind of very nice epoch, benevolent, like everything will be okay, that there will be no wars, no plagues, no such kind of things, and I greatly doubt this,
right.
um, because here it's what we see around us is exactly the opposite. Actually, what we see around us is much more signs of the fall of
Mm,
the present civilization,
yes.
of the epoch of the Pisces.
Mm,
That's what we see practically.
mm-hmm,
And this signs of the new age coming, yes, AI, computers, chips in the brains, yeah, all this we see coming.
mm,
Not necessarily this is some kind of spiritual and good thing,
mm,
but this can be connected to Aquarius.
mm-hmm,
Uh, and um, However, this these signs are still in development,
mm-hmm,
and probably we will need several hundred more years that we can see the real fruits of this. But now I want to show you. Okay, I'll put here the year 0. According to the Christian tradition, this was when Jesus was born. Okay, some people say, okay, it was 30 years before that, 30 years after that, or 10 years before that, 10 years after that. There are different theories, but the thing is that this must be around 0 in the Gregorian calendar. So, okay, I put here 0. And now let me refresh and you'll see where is the equinox. You see, the equinox is in the in 3 degrees 3 minutes in Babylonian Aries. This was the time when Jesus was born. And if we go now, let's see now where it is exactly. It is in 4 degrees 51 minutes.
Okay.
So let's go again. Okay. I will just move this a little bit so we can see it better.
3 minutes.
Okay.
3 degrees 2 minutes, I think, is it? Yeah.
3 degrees 2 minutes in the year 0. So if I put here 230, the year 230 AD, I will refresh. Okay, it is 2951. So we must go a little bit backwards. Yeah, in year 220 AD, after Christ, the equinox entered into the Babylonian Pisces.
Wow.
220 years after Jesus.
Yeah. So
yeah. So this is a transition period. What we are now, we are in a transition period. Exactly at this time, 220 from 200 until 300. Christianity, at least in Byzantium, was officially accepted.
Right. So let me ask you a question, if I may.
Yeah.
Because I think I heard you say that when these transitions happen, when we are moving out of one sign into the other, which is around about 2,000 years, just averaging that out, I think I heard you say that when we get to the bottom, the clay era, as you said, the clay, the dark ages and so on and so forth, I heard you say that God actually sends a prophet to start the new age, to start the new epoch, the new civilization, whatever you want to call it. Is that correct? I think I heard you say that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So in this case, is it the case, am I understanding this correctly? Is it the case that, because what you've just shown us here is that Christ was actually born, he was born in the Aries age, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so by the time we got into the Pisces age, he'd already died.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So is it the case that his presence at that time, he was the prophet, bringing the message, right, to start the Pisces age? Like he was the one that, even though he died when it officially started from this astronomical perspective, but he was the spirit, the energy, the prophet that came in to give birth to that Christian 2,000-year period. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. This, yeah. So here we can see that this transition period in the last transition from Aries to Pisces, it lasted around 300 years minimum.
Right.
300 years. So
Mm.
in this transition period, what happens is that this is the end
Mm.
of the last civilization, which is accompanied by catastrophic events.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually like a cleaning of humanity,
Yeah.
clean, cleansing.
Mm.
So in this period, these catastrophic events actually are a cleansing tool. Uh, Everything which is rotten
Mm.
goes away,
Mm.
um, and um, and then the civilization collapses.
Mm-hmm.
There is chaos, and when um, and in this time, then God sends a new prophet
Mm.
to
Mm.
start the new golden age.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we are now. We are in that, let's say, roughly speaking, that last 300-year period, right? Which is where things start, the rotten starts to, you know, uh the clearing starts. That's why we're seeing, I think, the extremity of the chaos on the earth at the moment. I realize what you said earlier, that compared to the real dark age, this is nothing, right?
Oh
Yet,
yeah,
yet
yeah,
we are still seeing a lot of chaos and devastation, but it is connected to the fact that we are in this transitional 300-year period, right? It has to clear things out. So that's what we're
yes.
saying here, aren't we? Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Which
can I can now show you actually when I believe that the darkest of the darkest transitions will take place, which will be when the equinox comes in Scorpio. And let me try this one. I'll put 12,000 something years AD. Let's see where it will go. Aha. Okay, it is, I must maybe 10,000 years AD.
Mm.
Good, good.
Mm.
I like this more. And yeah, 9,000 years AD. Yeah, it will be somewhere there around 9,000 AD, 8,600, maybe better. Just entering there,
Mm.
just entering. Yeah, it will be somewhere in, it will be easy to remember, 8,800 BC. Actually not BC, 8,800 AD.
Yeah.
The equinox is in the 28 degree 25 minutes of Scorpio.
Scorpio.
And this will coincide, this is in conjunction with the end of the Scorpio, where it has this poisonous tail.
Yes.
There is a star here, Shaula. Here it is Shaula.
Ah.
Like if I put the star, yeah, Shaula is the end of the stink of the
Uh-huh.
Scorpio. So I believe this will be the darkest of the transitions.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Scorpio, of course, definitely. And the sting of the tail. Yeah. Um, can I ask you, if we just rewind now to um when it shifts into Aquarius, which I think was 2372, I think it was. Um,
Yeah, yeah, 2,700 something.
oh, was it
Let's see.
700. Okay.
Well, actually, no, 2,300 maybe.
Yeah, 2,371, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah, 72
72.
or
Okay.
73.
Okay. So,
Yeah, that's it.
okay, perfect. So, are there any stars worthy to be aware of? I'm sure there are plenty, but anything that stands out for you, with the Aquarius, what stars have we got there that can give us some hope?
Hope. Well, at this place there are no any powerful bright stars here.
Okay.
And it's,
So it'll be a while then, won't it? It won't be as soon as we get into the Aquarian age, everything's going to be great. It's probably going to be quite difficult, but maybe as it progresses and it gets closer to some stars there in the constellation of Aquarius,
oh, it will be a long time
long
until
time.
we get there. For example, Fomalhaut
Yeah.
is, you see, it is here. Until it gets to Fomalhaut, it will be probably
Right.
1,600 years.
Yeah, halfway through somewhere. Yeah.
Uh, and there is another thing that we can watch this spring equinox moving
Mhm.
through the Dodecatemoria.
Yes, yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Like the Dodecatemoria is if we divide every sign in 12.
Hmm.
What we do actually with the whole ecliptic is divided in 12 signs. So we divide every sign again in 12.
Hmm.
And here is again this doctrine of the cycles, that the beginning of a cycle
Hmm.
reveals the nature of the whole cycle.
Right.
Actually, this is something not only in this, but it is like in everything.
Hmm.
Like this doctrine is actually the basis also of the natal astrology.
Hmm.
The beginning of the life,
Hmm.
which is the birth,
Hmm.
shows the whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the life, one life of any person
Mm.
is a cycle again, and the beginning of this cycle is the birth of this person,
Mm.
and this moment has an astrological chart.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
the same thing, but and here, mm, if I switch the Dodecatemoria, it's like the first division of Pisces,
Hmm.
which is 2 degrees and 30 minutes,
Hmm.
2 degrees and a half,
Hmm.
is again Pisces.
So
And
one
in
one
huh?
sign, sorry to interrupt you, what just so that the audience can understand what we're talking about. So what we're doing is we're taking one sign and we are dividing it into 12 equal parts. Each part is 2.5 degrees, and each part corresponds to a sign in the zodiac. So what you're saying is that the beginning here of this 20, what is it, 29, can't see the minutes, that is corresponding to Pisces, right? That's the first part is Pisces, so that's the part that corresponds to the beginning. Is that correct? Am I saying
Yes,
it correctly?
like yeah, like we divide every sign in 12 parts. Each part corresponds to a sign,
Right,
and and always the first part has the same sign as the sign.
right.
Like the first Dodecatemoria
Hmm.
of Pisces, which is between 0 and 2 degrees and 30 minutes is again Pisces.
Pisces, right. Yeah.
The same way, the first Dodecatemoria of Aries is again Aries.
Aries. Yeah. Yeah.
The first Dodecatemoria of Taurus is again Taurus. And
Mm,
this is because of this principle that the beginning
mm,
has the essence of the whole.
I love that. That's so deep. Really, that's so deep. That's not intellectual left brain. That's you have to really, yeah, it's just a deeply philosophical understanding, I think, to really understand that, you know. Um, so with this, Roman, just I know I'm sidetracking a little bit, but I am curious, and I'm sure many other people will be as well. So when you're looking at your own birth chart and you put in the Vodica Demoria, obviously that has meaning in the birth chart as well, right? Relative to the placement of planets and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So
In
say
the in Yeah.
so you might have, for example, like I've got Venus in Pisces, for instance. In Babylonian, she's about 3 or 4 or 5 degrees. I've just forgotten, but somewhere there of Pisces. Um, so she'll be where would she be if she's 5 degrees of Pisces in the Dodeka Moria? Like she'd be connecting to one part, but it'll be Pisces, Aries. It might be Taurus.
Like five,
About
the
5.
first the first Dodecatemoria of Pisces is from 0 to 2 degrees and a half, and the second is from 2 degrees and a half until 5 degrees.
Ah, right. Okay. So it might be Aries. Okay.
So if I click here now, let's see where will be this. Uh, right now, it is the spring equinox is in the second Dodecatemoria of Pisces, which is under Aries.
Mm. This is
And
this is current, right? We're talking about right now, today.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
and if we want to know when actually this transition took place from the Dodecatemoria of Taurus until the Dodecatemoria of Aries, I will show you now when this actually happened. You see 500. This is 2014.
Right. Okay.
So it was around 2014 when the Dodecatemoria changed from Taurus to Aries.
Taurus to Aries. And so how long does one period last? How many years?
It is like uh, let's say it is 2 degrees and a half. Every degree is 72 years.
Whoa.
So it is 144 plus 36, 180 years.
So one Dodecatomaria equals 180 years.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
Yeah, okay. So this is an example of cycles, right? Cycle upon cycle upon cycle. Yeah. Yeah. That's brilliant.
so right now we're 10 years into the Aries Dodecatemoria of Babylonian Pisces, and we have
Right.
170 years more to go.
Wow. Well, that explains the shit that's going on the planet, right? Doesn't it? The wars
Absolutely,
and, the killings and Gaza and, Lebanon and all of that stuff, right?
absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. So
Okay.
Aries, Aries,
Yeah.
what is Aries doing?
Yeah.
Mars.
Yeah.
So, and also Taurus.
Mm,
Taurus, like a symbol, like a sign, is very connected with the so-called American age.
mm,
This period of 180 years, when the precession was in the Dotic Temoria of Taurus, of Pisces, then this was the age of the United States.
mm-hmm.
Because the United States, according to the tradition, was the Constitution was or this Declaration of Independence
Uh-huh.
was signed exactly when Aldebaran was rising
Ah,
in conjunction with the ascendant.
right. Taurus.
And
Mm.
Taurus. And not only, but the 4th of July uh, is the day of the heliacal rise
Mm-hmm.
of Aldebaran.
Ah,
So,
wow.
so actually, they signed this Declaration of Independence when Aldebaran was in conjunction with the Sandal and when Aldebaran was heliacally rising. So it is like
Double.
double kind of
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
And Aldebaran is a star of the wealth, of the
Mm,
plenty,
yeah,
of the good luck.
right. Wow. Okay.
So
That's
yeah.
so fascinating and certainly fits, doesn't it, for USA because USA, for the most part, has been, it's all about the money, right? It's been a very wealthy country, really, in a lot of ways. Wow.
So in 2000, around 2014, this age finished.
Hmm.
So right now we're in some kind of transition
Yeah.
to to another small
Yeah.
180 years period,
Yeah.
which will be on the Aries and which will be a little bit more of a turmoil
Hmm.
than the previous one.
Wow.
And of course, we should take here in account also the comets.
Mm-hmm.
We should take in account also the eclipses, the solar eclipses, which happened uh, uh, on the there were several in the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
One happened on the summer solstice, another one on the winter solstice,
Mm-hmm.
which are extremely important points. This
Mm.
is like the four cardinal points, like the four archangels.
Yeah.
These four archangels are actually the four legs of the throne of God.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And um, and when eclipse happens exactly on the summer solstice or around,
Mm-hmm.
this is very important eclipse, and it affects the so-called what they call
Mm.
elites,
Yeah.
uh, the people which are on the top of the power game
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the summer solstice, the sun is maximum height,
Yeah.
and this shows people who have maximum power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So elite is kind of a word which I would not use for them.
Mm.
I would use the word the the power haves or the power havings,
Mm.
people who have the power,
Mm-hmm.
and usually they are not the elite.
Mm-hmm.
they, elite. When we talk about elite, we think about something bright, something good, something nice, something noble, right?
Mm.
And uh, people who really are the elite, they were in power long time ago in Sumer,
Right.
like 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago,
Yeah.
when the rulers were actually saints. They were holy people.
Right.
So this is the real elite.
Yeah. Yeah.
When a saint is on the top of a country.
Right. Now we've got
And
on top of
yeah,
that.
so uh, yeah, taking also we should not forget about Betelgeuse.
Petal.
This
Okay.
Yeah, Betelgeuse, which is this star here, right here, this one here, Betelgeuse, which is in conjunction. Let's see, right now, I think right now Betelgeuse is in conjunction with the summer solstice. Well, a little bit off. We need maybe 140 years probably around, or no, less than that. We can exactly compute when actually uh, the summer solstice will get in conjunction with Betelgeuse. Let's see
Mm.
this. We will see it here. Betelgeuse is here, and it is 3 degrees 58 minutes of Babylonian Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, remember this 3:58. So let's see when we will get there. 3 degrees 58. 3 degrees 58. Okay, we got it beyond this. Okay. It is roughly like 1 minute requires about 1 year and something. So, okay, it will be 2088 when the summer solstice will get in conjunction with the star Betelgeuse.
Mm.
Because right now, at this year, 2088, the spring equinox is in 3 degrees 58 minutes of Pisces, which means that the summer solstice will be at 3 degrees 58 minutes of Gemini, away is Betelgeuse. And then we can expect something big.
Mm.
Betelgeuse is a star which is on the Mars.
Mars. Right.
Mars. Mm.
So it's a difficult star then?
Oh yeah, Mars, Mercury. This is the nature of Betelgeuse. In some traditions, they view Betelgeuse like a very Martian star with a lot of energy, but energy which is not harmonious, which is going up and down this way, that way, and a little bit of chaos, a little bit of violence. Yes, is possible with Betelgeuse. But talking about Betelgeuse, it was in the beginning of 2019, somewhere in October, November, when Betelgeuse suddenly dropped in brightness.
Right. So,
And it was a phenomenon
mm-hmm.
which perplexed
Mm-hmm.
the astronomers. What the hell is going on? What
Really?
is happening with Betelgeuse?
Right.
Betelgeuse is a bright star, but in this period from like October, November 2019 until February 2020, it was much fainter.
So would that be associated to that whole crazy story called COVID in some kind?
Oh yeah, oh yes.
Yeah.
Also, also the comet. The
Mhm.
comet was also there at the same place of the sky. It went close to Betelgeuse through Gemini and High.
Ah.
The comet, which was, I believe, this comet Neowise,
Oh, Neowise.
which was in 2021, I believe.
Right. Yeah, I
Mm.
remember that, the
Was
Neowise.
it
Uh,
or in 2020? Um,
mm,
so we have here several things happening in
mm,
this area where is the summer solstice.
mm,
Betelgeuse losing brightness for several months,
mm.
and then around February, Betelgeuse again went back to its usual brightness.
Right.
Again, something very strange.
It is.
So we have this. We have a comet
Mhm,
going through there, new eyes.
mhm. It was March
Um,
2020, by the way, Neowise.
new. Uh, when was that?
March 2020. So,
You see
yeah.
exactly. Uh, I I saw this comet myself.
Mm-hmm.
It it was in the summer. I saw it. It was powerful. It was powerful. It was bright. It was something just like wow.
So for people who are not familiar with understanding the significance of stars and comets, with what you're sharing here, just so that people know, understand the significance of what you're saying and the power of it, basically this, and I don't profess to really know a lot about this, but the little understanding that I have, all the stars have a particular brightness or lack of brightness or color about them, right? And they change colors, and sometimes they're brighter and sometimes they're more dim. And those details have very specific meaning, right? As you were just pointing out with Betelgeuse, that during the time of when the world went to shit, so to speak, it lost its light, right? And the scientists or, astronomers or whatever were scratching their heads thinking, what the hell's going on? Well, we saw what the hell went on. So that's what Roman's talking about here, guys, is he's showing us that the power and the significance of stars either becoming more dim or becoming more bright, at different times has very specific meaning. When a comet is coming, in this case, it was a comet aligning at the same point with a very powerful star that is associated with Mars. So, yeah, very powerful stuff.
Mars in Babylonian astrology is also connected with the god Nergal, which is actually our Mars,
Mm,
Ares,
mhm,
and this divinity Nergal Mars is connected with plagues and with epidemics.
mm, mm,
Actually, in Mesopotamia, this is Nergal
mm.
who is sending epidemics and plagues to kill humanity.
Right. So the Mars Nergal is the name in the Mesopotamian Babylonian culture or history. So that Mars is much worse than the Mars that they talk about in Western astrology, right? Much,
Yes,
much worse. Yeah.
yes. The big ogre in Mesopotamia was not Saturn but Mars.
Right. Mm.
Actually, the the job of Nergal, the job of Mars in Mesopotamian mythology was to kill as many people as he is permitted.
Wow. So with that line of teaching or thinking, Roman, would you say that because in Hellenistic tradition they pay a lot of attention to day birth, night birth, and so if you're a day birth, Mars is your more difficult planet. If you're a night birth, Saturn is your more difficult planet. So let's say you're a day birth and Mars is your more difficult planet. And then we look into the Babylonian tradition and teachings, we can perhaps identify just how difficult that Mars might be for an individual in their chart, especially if they're born during the day. Yeah?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
especially if if Mars is in a powerful point of the space.
Mm.
Like if Mars is up in the sky, high in the sky around MC,
Ah.
or a little bit right on left from the meridian,
Mm-hmm.
then Mars is or any planet there is extremely powerful. And also on the eastern horizon, these are the the most sensitive, the
Mm.
most powerful places in the space
Mm.
where a planet acquires a lot of power. So if we have Mars in MC, let's say this is the most powerful place,
Mm.
MC, because this is the highest.
Yeah.
So let's say we have Mars there, and then if we see a chart like this,
Mm.
everything is decided on one question: is this birth during the day or is this birth during the night?
Mm. Mm.
If this day, if it is during the day, it may be very problematic, very.
Mm.
And if it is during the night, then it is different. During the night, like Mars during the night on MC,
Mm.
or Saturn
Mm.
during the day on
Mm.
MC,
Mm.
then these planets are in highs. They are in their own sect.
Mm-hmm.
Mars during the night, Saturn during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So they are not so evil. Then on the forefront comes their more positive qualities.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And such people usually have a lot of difficulties, a lot of tough times, but they go through it.
Mm.
And I divide the charts in 7 categories,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them I connect them with the dramas. Like, okay, we have tragedy, we have comedy, we have heroica, right?
Ah.
We have rosy garden kind of drama where everything is fine. So we have these different kinds of dramas. So Mars during the night, Saturn during the day on MC, I believe that they will give you heroic,
Uh-huh.
like these people with immense kind of effort
Mm.
go through all difficulties and achieve success.
Mm. Very, very interesting.
If we have the opposite, Mars during the day
Mm-hmm.
and Saturn during the night on MC, then this is tragedy,
Mm.
tragica,
Tragica.
tragica. If we have Jupiter, imagine Jupiter during the daytime. Jupiter is a day planet.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine during the daytime on MC. Wow, this is a rosy garden.
I know someone who has that, a person I've known for 35 years. My first astrology teacher, actually. So, yes.
Of course, you know, like the the so-called more clear cases when we have only one powerful planet on MC or on the ascendant, and all other planets are somewhere else,
Yeah,
not on so powerful places.
yeah.
This is like a clear case scenario.
Mm-hmm. I
Like then it is. But if we have more than one planet, if we have some powerful aspects, that then a little bit more complex. But the
yeah,
general theory is very very simple, very very simple.
yeah,
We just look. The first thing that we look is eastern horizon and upper meridian, and what is there? Are there planets?
yeah,
Are there fixed stars, and which exactly? And then the second question is this birth during the day or during the time? And this decides everything.
yeah, yeah. Mm. Trying to think what other questions I had. Because we're talking, we've sort of sidetracked a little bit, but we've sidetracked to very important information. For those that are listening, I'm sure they'll find it valuable. However, going back to the topic of cycles, I heard you also say that um, so every lunar month, for example, is connected with a particular divinity in Mesopotamia. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm really
So
curious
actually,
about that.
yeah, actually, Anastasia, we, talking about all these things,
Mm.
um, actually, we lost track of of the cycles a little bit.
Well, a little bit, but we did cover a fair bit when you were highlighting the the shift, of the precession of the equinoxes, showing us the dates and all of that. So we didn't completely lose track, but we have veered off a little bit. But I'm happy to go back to whatever you want to focus on.
Oh, we can freely talk about anything, but I think that we must change a little bit the title of this session,
Ah,
like how the big 2000 years epochs,
mm,
something like this,
yeah,
and then and
we'll
then yeah, basically a good idea will be to figure out the title of the session after we're done with the session.
Yes, yes, and I'm very happy to do that with you later. That's no problem. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
We can think about that and talk about that. So, okay, so if we go back to the whole thing about life, everything in life and about life in this dimension or other dimensions has a cycle, some type of cycle connected to it. And there are so many cycles actually, and we've just given a few examples today with the Dodecatomoria, for example. Then we talked about the big cycle of 2000 years and the transition there. We've talked about one part of the Dodecatomoria equals 180 years. So there are quite a few cycles we've looked at right there, which are pretty they're quite vast, aren't they? They're big cycles. Is there anything that we might be able to look at that's maybe a smaller cycle that people can just kind of learn about and maybe think about in their own life, something in the shorter term versus 180 years and things like that? Any
Yes, actually, we can start with the basic principles of the doctrine of the cycles in astrology, which I believe is one of the most important doctrines.
Mm-hmm.
According to this doctrine, everything is in cycles.
Mm-hmm.
There are small cycles, there are medium, there are big, there are huge
Mm-hmm.
cycles, and uh, actually we're living in a world in a reality where um, these small cycles, several of them make one bigger cycle, and several cycles of these bigger cycles make another still bigger cycle, and so up and the same down. So actually, these are cycles in cycles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And another important point is that all cycles, according to the Mesopotamians, have the same structure.
Okay, can you say a little
The
bit more
same,
about that?
the same structure. Like they are they start with the essence of the whole cycle,
Yeah.
and which is usually uh, okay. There is a lot of energy there, a lot of positive energy, and then another principle of the doctrine of the cycles is that the end of every cycle is under destructive forces.
Mm-hmm.
Mars, Saturn. That's why if I here now switch the so-called bounds or terms,
Mm-hmm.
you see like the final bounds of every sign is either Saturn or Mars.
Mm.
You see, everywhere the last bounds, the last term is under Saturn or under Mars, which is the destructive force.
Wow, that is yeah, okay. I'd never noticed that before. That's very, very interesting. So then what you're saying is that the structure according to this doctrine, these principles relative to the structure that exists inherently within any cycle, doesn't matter which cycle you're looking at, however big or small, fundamentally starts with what you said, the essence of that whole cycle, and that the end of it
Yes,
is always going to have a Mars Saturn energy about it. Doesn't matter how long or short it, right? That's very interesting.
absolutely,
Yeah. Wow.
absolutely. And like also another principle is that we can divide every cycle in the same way as the bigger cycle,
Mm-hmm.
like we do this with the Doric right? We divide, like we have this ecliptic of 12 signs, and we divide every sign in the same way
Mm-hmm.
in 12 parts.
Mm-hmm.
And we can go further. We can divide every Doric in 12 little
Wow.
Doric uh, and also, um, for example, I'll tell you about the uh, let's see, mm, how they divided, how the Sumerians and the Babylonians divided the day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they had their hours, they had their Babylonian minutes, Babylonian hours, which were a little bit different from what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that the Babylonians and the Sumerians divided the day in the same way as God divides the year.
Mm-hmm.
God divides the year in 12 months.
Right.
And um, so every month,
Mm-hmm.
got subdivided in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just yeah. Okay, so God divided the tropical year in 12 lunar months. I'm talking about the Babylonian lunisolar calendar. Divided in 12 lunar months. And then each lunar month got divided in 30 days. So the same way the Mesopotamians divided the day. They divided it in 12 hours. And each hour was divided in 30 so-called minutes, Babylonian minutes.
Right.
And then, because every cycle corresponds to another cycle, a small cycle corresponds to big cycle. That's why from here, from this division, are coming the primary directions, when one Babylonian minute is equal to 1 year. One Babylonian minute equals 4 minutes of modern times. Everybody has heard about this, that in primary directions, 4 minutes after birth means 1 year.
Right.
So what is happening on the sky every 4 minutes after birth is talking about what is happening so many years of the life of this person.
So your whole life can be condensed into, sorry to interrupt you, for some people that don't understand, because it goes back to the point that you made earlier about, although we were talking about the whole life can be seen just, in that moment of birth, right? And so this is a little bit similar, except we're using a particular time method technique, right? Which shows us if 4 minutes equals 1 year of life, then our whole life can be seen in, let's say we live to 80, 90 years of age, for example, then that is encapsulated I think it's about 3 hours or something, is it? Or is it half that?
Like
Minutes, something like that. So your whole life can be seen in the first 3 hours of, the first 3 hours after your birth. Everything is seen, in that 3 hour window from the point of view of primary directions, if you're moving everything 4 minutes at a time. So your whole life is compressed into that first 3 hours, is what
actually, let's say 6 hours, because 90 years multiplied by 4 hour modern minutes will give 360.
Right. Okay. Your maths is better than mine.
So about 6 hours.
Okay.
So because every small cycle corresponds to a bigger and to another smaller cycle, they are all equal. So it means that one Babylonian minute, which is our modern 4, will correspond to 1 year. And then we have one Babylonian hour, which is our 2 modern hours, will correspond to 1 year of life, which is this technique in astrology, when we move, when we perfections.
Annual perfections. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the basic of the perfections is every 2 modern hours after birth corresponds to 1 year. And then we have, of course, the progressions. 1 day equals 1 year. So here you see is coded in all these astrological techniques, and this is so simple.
Yeah.
They divide the day as God has divided the year, and they go from there.
Right. 12 hours.
So, yeah. So these are the main points, philosophical, metaphysical points of the doctrine of the cycles. That everything is in cycles. Every cycle has the same structure. The beginning of every cycle shows the essence of the whole cycle. The end of every cycle is under destructive forces, because this is the end, actually, right? So it it must be under
Mm-hmm.
destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And mm,
Hmm.
from there we can know a lot. So
Hmm.
the cycles, uh, there are many different cycles. For example, the heliacal cycles of the planets.
Mm-hmm.
The heliacal cycles of the planets. Every planet has several heliacal cycles, small, bigger, giant, medium kind of cycles.
Can you
And
give an example,
can,
Roman? Can you give an example of
yeah,
maybe Venus?
we can talk about this maybe in the next session more detail.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So in this session is like the metaphysics, the basic doctrine, the basic principles,
Yeah.
and then the details, hopefully soon in the next session.
Okay.
Um, but I'll give you one example.
Okay.
Like for example, Ptolemy talks about this general periods in the human life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he starts and these general periods they go with the planetary spheres.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first planetary sphere, if we uh, like start flying towards the zenith, right? We will go through the planetary sphere of the moon.
Yeah.
This will be the first.
Yes.
So the period of the moon, says Ptolemy, is 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the first four years of every human life is under the general period of the moon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then the next planetary sphere, according to the ancient, is Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
So the next 10 years
Mm-hmm.
are under Mercury, this general
Is this the
period.
Fedaria periods we're talking about?
Which one?
Fedaria? Is it the
No, Firdaria. No,
not,
Firdaria.
not
Firdaria
Fedaria?
are much later. These are
Ah,
general periods.
so,
General,
okay,
like in every human life, the first
okay,
4 years is under the moon, and this is logical. This
okay,
is development of the physical body,
okay.
eating, starting eating food.
Right. So
You
it's got nothing
know,
to do with night birth, day birth. This is just something
no. This is that's
before.
why
Yeah, okay.
that's why that's why they call them general periods,
Right.
chronic
Okay.
catholic, and they so the next period is Mercury,
Hmm.
from the age of 4 until the age of puberty, 14. In
Hmm.
this time, people develop their Mercurian skills like talking, understanding, conceptions, and movement, and so on. So from 14 years of age comes Venus. This is the puberty.
Yeah.
And Venus has a cycle of 8 years.
Okay. Eight. Mm.
So from 14 until 2022.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So then we have the sun.
Ah.
From 22, we have 19 years. 19 years, which next session we will talk why exactly these years. Why exactly the moon has 4, Mercury has 10, Venus has 8, and the sun 19.
Yes.
19 is actually the cycle, the Saros cycle, the cycle. Practically, this 19-year cycle is the cycle of the tides of the waters, the tides going up, the waters up and down, and this is a cycle of 19 years. You know, whoever has an yacht, yacht, a boat with sails, they have also a book which will give them how high or low will be a tide.
Right. Yes.
And this is a cycle of 19 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
repeats. So they have these manuals or books where you will know for every day for a given place, let's say Sydney or Seattle. And they have for this day the tide will be, oh, that's high. For this day, that's low. So they know what to do with their sailboats, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? These tables, how they are constructed. There is no much mathematics or computations here, theoretical. No. They construct these tables by pure observation. They go to the place, some place on the ocean, and they measure how high is the tide every day, and then they make these tables. They watch this for 19 years,
Right.
and voila, they know the next 19 years how this will be. It will be the same.
Wow.
That's how they actually make they make it with observation. So after the sun comes Mars, and Mars has a period of 15 years according to Ptolemy. 15 years. This is again connected with its heliacal period, which is 15, sometimes 17 years. Actually, the heliacal period of Mars is coming like, okay, now it is 15 years. Next period is again 15 years, but the third period is 17. And then again, 15, 15, 17. 15, 15, 17.
Right.
So from this, we can guess also what will be the so-called medium period of Mars, which will be 47. 2 periods of 15 and 1 period of 17 years will give 47. So we have one like small cycle, 15 years or 17, and then one big cycle of 47 years. So what is the practical use of this? Very simple.
Yeah.
If you see a chart with powerful Mars on MC, on eastern horizon, the most powerful positions. So if you see such kind of Mars, whether it will be good nighttime or it will be bad daytime, you watch very carefully what happens in the life of this person when he is 15 years old, when he is 17 years old, depends in what cycle he is born. We must see whether this person is born in the 15 years or the 17 years. Anyway, we must watch the 15 year of life of this person. We must watch the 47 year of life of this person, and we know that in these years Mars will be powerful, and something will happen which will be connected with the Mars in this chart.
Okay.
If it is good, this person will have some kind of things to go through, some kind of fight of like war, war in a broader sense.
Yeah.
Like this person will go through some kind of personal war, personal fight with something.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it will be happy end if it is nighttime. If it is daytime, it will be much more difficult,
Mm.
and this person may have some accident, some catastrophic event, some clashes with Mars, which is police, army, war, operations, everything.
Mm.
Uh, so that's just one very, very specific small example. We can do it with the other planets too.
Can,
And
right.
there are also other types of cycles, not only these heliacal cycles, but of course, other type, many of them. And I hope we soon will go in some detail about
Yeah.
these cycles.
Yes, absolutely. I'm dying to go into the details of it. Just a quick question, Rumen. How close does the planet have to be to the MC or the ascendant? In
Oh, if it is, I think if it is in the rising sign of the ascendant, it will be very powerful. Above the horizon, below the horizon, still, like, let's say, if it is like roughly, even if it is in a different sign
Mhm.
than the rising sign, but it is close to the horizon, let's say 5 degrees or
Yeah,
7 degrees,
yeah.
then it will be as powerful as it is in the rising sign.
Mm.
And on MC, we have more space there. We can take the sign in which is through which goes the meridian.
Mhm.
The sign where is MC. Let's say Gemini.
Mhm.
Let's say MC is in Gemini. So if we have a planet in Gemini, very powerful.
Mm.
But also if we have a planet on the right of this sign or on the left,
Mhm.
also will be quite powerful.
Mhm.
Of course, if a planet is exactly on the descendant, exactly on the IC, conjunct the sun, conjunct the moon also.
Mm.
But the main, most powerful points is the meridian and the eastern horizon.
Mhm. Mhm.
If we have a planet there, we watch these years that are allotted to the planet,
Right. Yeah.
years of
Okay.
life.
Mm.
Venus is 8 years.
Mhm.
8 years. So any kind of multiple of 8 years,
Mhm.
16, 24.
Mm. But Venus would generally be a good period, right? A Venus.
Yes, yes, yes. Every planet has pluses or minuses.
Mm.
Of course, the minuses of Saturn and Mars are tough,
Yeah.
very, very tough.
Mm.
And the minuses of Jupiter and Venus are easy.
Mm.
Although people can get bogged down in the negatives of Jupiter and of Venus, okay, Venus. All right, we have here pleasures. We have here how do they call this? Indolence, or people who want to have a lot of leisure without working a lot,
Ah,
right?
indulgence, like lazy kind of
Indulgence, like
indulgence.
they just go through different nice things, pleasures, parties, this and that, art, and okay, work, okay, later. so
Yeah,
so
indulgence.
uh so Venus is this. Jupiter is like people may start to think very high of their achievements, that they put high price on the opinion of other people about them, so they can start building some kind of fake personality. There are negatives, of course, Jupiter and
Yeah.
Venus, but these negatives are kind of nice negatives, not so not
Destructive.
so tough.
Yeah.
You know, Saturn, how can hit you Mars? Wow, accident, prison,
Mm.
lawsuits, operations.
Mm.
Saturn can also hit you very hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Jupiter and Venus, they're softest, softest.
Yeah.
Thanks God.
Thanks God. Exactly. Right.
Thanks God that
Mm.
that Jupiter and Venus, when they are negative, it's much more that we can accept much more readily.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Mm. Okay.
So yeah, right now, yeah. I hope next session we'll get in some details about these cycles. We'll go through all the planets, all their periods. Why are these years? What are they connected with some cycles of the moon orbit,
Mm.
which actually nobody researches, and some other kind of cycles. Yes.
That would be amazing. Amazing. That's not a technique I'm familiar with, so I'm really looking forward to learning about that because it feels to me like it has um yeah, it feels like there's something in it, I can, because as you're talking, I'm thinking about people that I know with Mars on the ascendant, blah, 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 right? And I'm just thinking, I'm putting it all together in my head, and I'm thinking about people that I know very well. So I know their life story, and I'm thinking about, the 17 mark, the 15 mark, and the 47 mark, and yeah, so I can see it even just with what you've said so far. So I'm very, very curious to explore this and understand it more, and share it with everybody as well. So absolutely, we'll talk about another time to get together. Hopefully it'll be reasonably soon so we can keep people kind of, we won't sort of lose them because people's attention span,
Mhm.
they'll get distracted and they'll move on to something else. So if we can keep it kind of fresh, like in the next month, I'm thinking, if possible, if
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. December. Yes.
like that would be great if we can do that. And then we can go into these cycles with some detail and maybe some examples as well, which is always
Yes.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yes. Oh, I have some example, and I'll give you just one question so people can think about this. What is the common thing in three people? Jesus Christ, Alexander the Great, and Bruce Lee.
I wouldn't have expected you to put Bruce Lee with those others, and I'm really intrigued now. I love
You'll
Bruce
see.
Lee, by the way. So,
There is one. There is one common thing connected with astrology,
right,
which connects all these three great men:
right.
Jesus Christ, Alexander the Great, and the martial arts genius
Genius, yes.
Bruce Lee.
Wow. So, are you going to talk about this in our next session?
Yes, and this is a cycle also.
Ah, okay. Oh, I'm very, very intrigued because I love those three people that you've mentioned. And especially Bruce Lee in the concept of this lifetime, because I know him from this lifetime, I grew up with my father and my brothers. We were just watching Bruce Lee movies every night, so I'm very familiar with all of, yeah, it's interesting. I'm fascinated you brought, it was his birthday yesterday, actually, Bruce Lee. So happy solar return to him in heaven. But yeah, no, that'll be great exploring those guys and looking at these cycles and just, yeah, just getting more sort of understand, because today you've given us I think some structure around principles connecting to very specific cycles, right? So it's kind of like the outline, And so if you guys want to know how to work with this, then you have to tune into our next video so that you can get more information of how to work with this and how to understand it. That's going to be our intention and our goal for our next sitting. So, Roman, thank you so much for your generous time, for your wisdom. I absolutely adore you. I appreciate you. I'm always inspired when I sit with you, and I can't wait to sit with you again. So thanks for everyone who's watching or who's going to watch this. And I'll leave details for Roman's contact details underneath the video. Feel free to connect with him. As I said, he offers a lot of things. I haven't even covered the tip of the iceberg of what Roman actually offers. If you're curious about this program that we were using today, which I highly recommend if you want to start learning deep astrology that corresponds to the sky, understanding the constellations, seeing them on the chart. You can switch as well. Roman didn't show us this, but I'll quickly just show you, just so that people understand how great this program is. Oh, Roman, I've got your chart here. I hope you don't mind. Do you want me to take it down?
Uh,
I'll take
yeah,
it.
this is my chart, but it is in a different place,
Right.
made
Okay.
made for for a different place.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, we won't worry about that for now, but I'll clarify that with you when we get off
Mm.
this recording. I just want to show people who are not familiar with this program the value. There's so much value. I'm still learning how to use this program. It is very complex, but to begin with, so here's the this is just a chart for some random date. Okay, so it's nobody's chart in particular. But I want to show you, if you look to the left hand side, the box right down the bottom, the largest box, you can switch systems. You can go from fixed Babylonian. So if we look at the date of this is 29th of July 2023. So the sun at that time is actually 10 degrees 10 degrees of Cancer in the Babylonian fixed zodiac. And if you want to know what it is in the tropical zodiac, you can actually look at this little window down here. But you can also just make the switch here. So it has these options where it changes the chart for you. It changes the zodiac depending on what you wish to use. That's just one example. So it's very, very advantageous to have a system like this that can change it in just one click of a button. So you can look at your tropical chart, you can look at your Babylonian chart, and you can basically learn in that way, which is fantastic. So just wanted to show that to everyone, Roman, so that they are aware that that program can be used in one click of a button, and you've got two different, it's fantastic. And there's no program that has, the stars and the constellations in such a way. I have a lot of questions about that program, but I'll leave that between you and me for another time. There's things that I want to know about, but we'll leave it here for today. And once again, thank you so much, Roman. And thanks, guys, for
Thank
watching.
you.
And we'll see you soon for a part two, for a breakdown of these cycles and how you can actually use them in your life. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks again, Roman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Roman, you were just saying.
I wish you good luck, Anastasia, for you, your family, and everybody who is watching this video. Good luck.
Thanks, Roman. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon for part two. Stay tuned. Thank you.